Vampires are mythological creatures that have been the subject of countless stories, books, and films. According to folklore, vampires are undead beings that feed on the blood of the living, often causing their victims to become vampires themselves. There have been many reported sightings of these mythical creatures throughout history, which led some people to believe that there is a chance that they could be real. One of the most famous cases of vampire sightings occurred in the small town of Exeter, Rhode Island. According to reports, a family named the Browns had several members die from a mysterious illness. When the family's member, Mercy Brown, also fell ill, the townspeople believed that she was a vampire and began a series of rituals to prevent her from rising from the dead and feeding on the living. Her body was exhumed, and her heart was burned, and the ashes were mixed with water and given to her brother, who was also ill. Despite these efforts, her brother died. While the events in Exeter are often dismissed as superstition, they have become a part of vampire lore. In more recent times, there have been reported sightings of people who claim to be vampires or who practice vampirism. These individuals often dress in gothic clothing, adopt the lifestyle and mannerisms associated with vampires, and sometimes engage in blood-drinking rituals. It's believed that these individuals are genuinely vampires or are in some way connected to the supernatural. One possible explanation for the belief in vampires is a rare medical condition called porphyria. This genetic disorder affects the production of heme, a component of hemoglobin, and can cause symptoms such as sensitivity to sunlight, skin lesions, and anemia. In the past, people with porphyria may have been viewed as vampires because of their sensitivity to sunlight and their need for blood transfusions. Another possible explanation for the belief in vampires is the psychological phenomenon known as clinical vampirism or Renfield syndrome. This condition involves a compulsion to drink blood, and while it is rare, there have been documented cases of people who engage in this behavior. These individuals often report feeling a strong connection to vampires and may adopt the lifestyle associated with them. The Kraken is a legendary sea monster that has been a part of folklore and mythology for centuries. It is typically described as a giant octopus or squid that can reach enormous size, with tentacles that can wrap around and drag ships to the bottom of the ocean. While there is no direct evidence to suggest that the Kraken is a real creature, there are several factors that have contributed to its enduring popularity and the possibility of its existence. One of the key pieces of evidence that suggests the existence of the Kraken is the discovery of giant squid. While giant squid are not as large as the mythical Kraken, they can grow up to 43 feet in length, and they have been known to attack boats and even people. The first documented sighting of a giant squid was in 1861, when a specimen washed up on a beach in Newfoundland. Since then, numerous specimens have been discovered, and in 2012, the first live footage of a giant squid in its natural habitat was captured. While giant squid are not as large as the Kraken, there is evidence to suggest that there may be even larger species of squid that have not yet been discovered. In recent years, there have been reports of massive squid in the deep ocean that are estimated to be much larger than any currently known species. Another piece of evidence that supports the possibility of the Kraken's existence is the presence of mysterious underwater structures. In 2016, a team of researchers discovered what appeared to be giant circles on the seafloor off the coast of Scotland. The circles, which are about 2.4 meters in diameter, are thought to have been created by a creature that was larger than any known species of squid or octopus. In addition to physical evidence, there are also many reports of sightings of the Kraken throughout history. In the 19th century, there were numerous accounts of sailors encountering giant octopuses and squid, and many of these accounts may have contributed to the legend of the Kraken. The Bunyip is a mythical creature from Australian Aboriginal folklore that was reportedly sighted several times in Australia. It is described as a large, water-dwelling creature with a fierce appearance and a loud, booming roar. Many of the early accounts of Bunyip sightings come from European settlers who arrived in Australia in the 19th century. These settlers reported seeing strange creatures in the country's waterways, including rivers, swamps, and billabongs, which are small bodies of water that are connected to a river or stream. These creatures were described as having dark, matted fur, a dog-like face, and a long, powerful tail. Some Aboriginal stories also mention the Bunyip, describing it as a malevolent creature that is feared by many of the country's indigenous people. According to legend, the Bunyip was said to live in the deepest parts of waterways and would sometimes emerge to attack humans and other animals. There have also been several reported sightings of strange creatures in Australia's waterways that could potentially be the Bunyip. In the early 1900s, for example, a group of gold prospectors in Victoria claimed to have seen a large, unknown creature swimming in a nearby river. They described the creature as having dark, shaggy fur and a long, powerful tail. More recently, there have been several reports of large, unknown creatures in Australia's Murray River. In 2001, a group of fishermen claimed to have seen a creature that resembled the Bunyip swimming near their boat. They described the creature as being about 4 meters long, with a large, dog-like head and a thick, muscular body. Charybdis is a sea monster from Greek mythology that was said to inhabit the Strait of Messina, a narrow waterway between Sicily and Italy. According to legend, Charybdis was a giant whirlpool that would suck in ships and sailors, causing them to be lost forever. While most scientists believe that Charybdis is purely mythical, there are some natural phenomena that may have inspired the legend. The Strait of Messina is known for its strong currents and whirlpools, which can be dangerous for ships and boats. These currents are caused by a variety of factors, including the shape of the coastline, the tides, and the wind. One possible explanation for the legend of Charybdis is that sailors may have encountered these dangerous currents and whirlpools and attributed them to a supernatural force, such as a sea monster. Another possibility is that the legend of Charybdis was inspired by a real-life event, such as a shipwreck caused by the treacherous currents in the Strait of Messina. While there is no evidence to suggest that Charybdis is a real creature, there are many examples of sea monsters and other aquatic creatures that have been discovered in the world's oceans. Some of these creatures, such as giant squid and the coelacanth, were once thought to be extinct but have since been rediscovered by scientists. It is possible that there are other, as yet undiscovered, creatures lurking in the depths of the ocean that could inspire myths and legends like that of Charybdis. In fact, the vast majority of the ocean remains unexplored and uncharted, so it is entirely possible that there are creatures living in the ocean that we have yet to discover. The Chupacabra is a legendary creature that is said to inhabit parts of the Americas, particularly in Mexico and Puerto Rico. The name Chupacabra is derived from the Spanish words chupar and cabra, which refers to the creature's reported habit of attacking and drinking the blood of livestock, particularly goats. Reports of Chupacabra sightings began to emerge in the 1990s, particularly in Puerto Rico and other parts of the Caribbean. Witnesses described the creature as a bipedal, reptilian monster with spines or quills running down its back. It was said to be about the size of a small bear, with sharp claws and fangs. In the years since these initial reports, there have been numerous alleged sightings of chupacabras across the Americas. Many of these sightings have been accompanied by reports of livestock attacks and unexplained animal deaths. Some researchers have pointed to the similarities between the reported sightings and known animal species. For example, some experts have suggested that the chupacabra may be a misidentified or mutated species of canid, such as a coyote or wolf. Others have suggested that the chupacabra may be a new species of animal altogether, potentially a previously unknown type of mammal or reptile. However, no physical evidence of the creature has ever been found, and some skeptics have suggested that the sightings may be the result of hoaxes, misidentifications, or mass hysteria. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and giving it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. See you next time.